So it doesn't have to be a question. Maybe you want to...
Yes, Debbie, I see you have something.
Hi, Grandmother. It's been really lovely listening to you, and your interview that you did the other week with Michal. I got so much out of it.
Good.
It was really amazing, the messages that I got. And since I started painting with Michal about 12 months ago, I think it was now, I find as we get older women, we start to connect more. I think we've always had that question, what are we here for? But as we get older, I think we start to get a little bit mischievous and misbehaving somewhat, that we no longer want to go with the norm. And, we know there is something bigger and better for us that we need to be aware of, and we start to question that. And I know since I started painting with Michal, it's allowed me to connect to something wiser deep within me, and every painting that I paint has got some significant special meaning, and it blew me away.
Beautiful.
It blew me away, the interview the other day, because the painting that I did in December was of you.
Oh, wow.
It was in December that I painted this painting, and when I looked at it, when you did the interview the other day, I looked at it. I was listening to you, and I glanced at this painting, and I realised it was you. And I'm trying to think, there were so many messages in what your interview was that connected with little pieces in this painting that came out when I was deep within myself in that painting space. And I think your message, as far as being in your being, that's where we can get when we're in our creative space, when we just put the music on and we just let ourselves just simply be and let whatever needs to come out.
Right.
And there's so much that I'm finding comes out in that space. And I think looking at that interview and my painting just confirmed to me so much to believe in the messages that were coming out in this when I'm in my painting space.
Right.
It just confirmed it all because of the connection to you.
Yeah, thank you. You brought up a very important term, painting space. Now, what you're describing, you're in that space, Debbie, is your full connectedness to wholeness and self and source. You're in alignment, holding that beautiful energy and frequency, right? You call it painting space, which is good now. So this is I'm going to give you a challenge, right? I'm going to give all of you a challenge, because someone said, what are we as women supposed to be doing here? How can we use our creativity to help? This is the way. So thank you, Debbie, for bringing this. I wanted to talk about this. So just give me a second here. Okay, so painting space. You just identified what a sacred space is. Okay, you call it painting space. The sacred space is that frequency and energy of what it's like when you're in the sacred flow, connectors, right? Excuse me. I have to talk about this. Now, walking in beauty. I used that term earlier. As I talked about, we talk about walking in beauty, what it is like to be walking in beauty, right? Now, and I said it's not about jewelry, it's not about fancy clothes. it's the frequency. It's your connectedness and oneness. So your painting space, sacred space, is the walking in beauty. So when you put the brushes down and you leave the studio and you close the door and you turn around and you face the world, is to maintain the frequency of the sacred space, the painting space, and the beauty way. Energy and frequency and oneness and wholeness connected with above and below and you in the center. See, so that's a challenge. So that's how, when you say, well, you know, I go out there in the world and it's crazy and it's chaos and everything is, you know, hitting me. That's the challenge of us. Where are we today? How is our frequency and the compassion and love that we have for all of this creation? How are we going to do this? Okay. We don't have to shout. We don't have to speak. We have to be in that painting space, the frequency of that sacred space. Okay. It's carrying, it's being that, it's walking in the beauty way. So you gotta put yourself in that frame when you've finished your paintings, you know, and you're in that beautiful sacred space, painting space, connectedness to oneness, beauty way. When you finish for the day, hold that beautiful frequency, that painting space, beauty space, sacred space as you enter out into the world, because you're in that bubble, you're in that beauty way. You're in that frequency. So beautiful, beautiful. As the creating being that you are, you're one with creation. That's the sacred space. So thank you. I wanted to talk about this, and I had completely forgot, overlooked it. So thank you, Debbie. That term, it's a very good term you have. The painting space is the sacred space. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Grandmother, can we see your the painting you showed me? We are
I
so
will.
curious.
Well, I'm not painting anymore. I'm writing, but for years I did this series. I don't know if this will. I did this series for a period of time around the early 2000s. You know, this is this is called Many Moons. It's
so beautiful. Wow.
this is a cover of one of my books. There's an otter, because I had this experience with an otter, beautiful otter.
Wow, I love this painting, and it's a cover of your book. So you're writing books. I would love
Well,
to.
I had written books years ago, but I'm running out of them. I have to get republished, and I don't have the money, so I'm very low on the book. So, but this is the book for the sacred feminine. This is a shamanic trance. This woman is trancing into shifting until she has a snake medicine there.
Yes, the snake is crawling on her feet.
And
Amazing.
she has her transformations into, she's singing, and she has different owl medicine, and the fox medicine, and
Yeah. Everybody's saying, wow, wow, how beautiful. They write new messages.
Well, I will show you one thing that's very different from that. So there's different periods, you know. This is I used to take slides of all of my work. I don't have the slides anymore. This is a long time now. So I will say that this is called the the Wakian beings. These are sacred beings of the Wakian, the thunder beings.
Oh, thunder. They're singing and happy thunder. Wow.
Yeah.
I love everything you do. I love all the styles.
Mm.
Thank you. Mm. Thank you, grandmother. Kim is saying powerful energy. And Suzanne, what medium is the painting? They're asking.
Pastel and pastel pencil and ink, black ink.
Mm.
I went through painting with acrylics, painting with oil, and then I became more pastel artist, and pencil and yeah, ink. I think different times, different, yeah, unfoldment is, the different. So yeah, it's like allowing the flow of whatever wanted to come through. And, I never had like copying with any particular thing in mind. It's just the beginning of, just pen on paper, pencil. Just start with a line, just like something's there. It's just like the medium, something's there, So it's just so, I don't even remember. I think it was just starting with this part right here, just this. And that then, I didn't know what the plan was. And that's how, but it's always been like that. Yeah.
People are still coming, by the way, but we are towards the closing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, yeah, it's going to say so much gratitude to every one of you for being here today. It was really wonderful. And it was a good meetup, very happy. So, it's like this was, again, it's sort of like the guidance over 30 years ago when I was reluctant and said, I'm not doing that, because I have nothing to say. I don't know what you want from me, really. And I was terrified. Besides, I was really terrified. I was on my little island. Remember, I told you. I put myself on a little island and I was very well protected. I didn't have to really participate a lot. Like, I was faking it as best I could. So I had to step over that island, right? I had to become vulnerable. I had to step off of my safety zone, my safety island, in order to be here with you today. So that's over 30 years ago. It's been an extraordinary journey. And because Creator Mother wants us someplace, wants us to be doing something. And I was terrified of the movement. I was resistant to the movement because I had such self-doubt. And I was crushed. My spirit had been crushed. So, that's that's what I thought. I was just gonna keep myself on an island somewhere. I mean, it's a metaphor. It's not real. Although I would really like to go to an island. I had that plan. I'm gonna be on an island. I'll be safe. I could just paint. I can write. I can just sing to the stars and the moon, and I'll be fine. I don't have to be in the world. I don't have to, no, well, that's a joke, right? Because we're here because we're needed to be here. We're needed here, very much everyone. We're needed here. We're here for something really significant. So, I'm happy that you're all here with me. And so I couldn't say no. They really hit me with a 2x4. I call it the 2x4. I denied and refused for 2 years to begin to call women into circle. And they really, they needed me. And I'm not making myself, I'm not special. They just needed me, like they just need you. Every one of us, whatever part you're playing here, whatever part you're meant to play, it is really, really important. And so my plan was just hide. I'm just hiding. It's too hard out there, So I tried that, and it wasn't working because finally they gave me an ultimatum. Either I was going to, well, it's a story, it's a big story. So when Creator gives you an ultimatum, well, and it was, and so I decided I'll do what they were asking me to do, but I was terrified anyway, but I did it. I leapt off the cliff into the fire after trying to hide for 40 some years. So, and you know what? I found out, when you leap off the cliff where you have no choice, because you look, the monster's coming, you have only one thing to do, leap off that cliff or get eaten by the monster. It was extraordinary. These wings formed on these extraordinary wings. And I floated down. Oh, they were arrows. Boom. Spears. Boom, boom. Arrows. Boom. They were all part of the process. But I landed. And here I am. And here I am.
I feel so lucky and so honored and so blessed that we are here with you, and this meetup happened by some grace and miracle. What are the odds?
That's good, right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Dear, beautiful, beautiful.